You know, it gets me thinking, is there such a thing as a bad Zelda game? I mean, how many times can you shove a concept up people's throats and still have it basically printing money after 30 plus years? Not sure, but people seem to love Peter Pan with a sword, gamers and non-gamers alike. And it doesn't matter how long or baggy the pants he wears are, if he even wears any. I love Zelda, and regardless of if I've even played most of them or haven't, I always love the concept. As a kid, I'd sometimes play my brother's Zelda save files and be like, look at me, I'm a Zelda! That's because it's no secret that the puzzle genre games aren't for everyone. I, for instance, really got hooked on Zelda because I just thought that anime Peter Pan fighting skeletons in medieval combat looked awesome. And it's not like Nintendo ever advertised some sort of tedious puzzle from the games. It's the more actiony parts of the game they're gonna showcase in trailers, obviously. So, my first real Zelda was Ocarina for the 3DS. The 3DS was great, and that game really fit it as one of its primary titles. It was also easy, but the game never felt like the Zelda that the 3DS deserved. So, flash forward to around 2 years in the future, we got a game that suited the 3DS a bit more. Now I got hooked onto Zelda in around 2011 when the 3DS was released. And I played the fuck out of the 3DS, but it didn't start off that way. While the 3DS is basically famous nowadays as the successor to the DS, its launch was pretty lame. I mean, just look at all these and tell me that they make you want to buy a console for them. I mean, Pilot Wings Resort isn't bad, Sims 3 because we haven't had enough shitty ports from EA, or Rayman 2 port for the 25,000th fucking time. Needless to say, these games did not interest me. So I waited like a month or two for Ocarina of Time 3D to come out. Did I still buy the 3DS at its full price? Yes, I did, but at least I got some GBA games for free, so no biggie, no biggie. Now I enjoyed Ocarina to an extent where I actually got myself a replica of the thing, and cosplayed as Link twice. Oh, well, but like, Ocarina was good. Supposedly Ocarina was so good that it was a life-changing and a true 3D Zelda experience, but in my opinion, it was great, but a remake just doesn't make justice as the primary gimmicky 3DS Zelda title. It just isn't legit. That's more like it. What's that? This one's basically a sequel to Link to the Past? It's not a remake! Usually I just leave the naming at default, but for the sake of this video, we're gonna be Zelda. Because I am a Zelda. So right at the start button I'm being shown this cutscene of Link facing probably Ganon? But guess what? He's asleep. Hey Zelda! Now if Ganon couldn't wake him up, that's sure to work. Come on, how long are you gonna sleep, Zelda? Just cracks me up. Papa was really angry. He said he can't be a blacksmith if you don't get up at the crack of dawn. Well then it's a good thing I won't be a fucking blacksmith. That's Gully, by the way. His role in this game is something very different from my estimates, but I like to think that he's Flute Boy from A Link to the Past.
Whose song, by the way, plays when you save the game in this one?
Not really though, it's high time for me and Zelda to get out of the house. Smash all this stuff around my house. I mean, this is Zelda. There might be money in there. I don't fucking know. Maybe a pork chop or something. Oh, you gotta hurry up to Papa Blacksmith, but don't forget to save first because I'm a character in game and I fucking know this somehow.
Oh, well, who is this if it isn't?
Zelda.
Slept late again? You sure you're cut out to be a blacksmith? It's not my business to say, but you'd better mend your ways, lad. There's no future in being a layabout.
Shut the fuck up. So apparently, the guard captain was at the blacksmith getting his stuff fixed up and somehow forgot his sword, so I have to get it back to him. Oh, I can't use it yet though. This guy, by the way, he really likes that hammer there. So closer inspection, the captain went to the town sanctuary to see a young girl called Ceres. I don't know why he would want to see Ceres, but Dampé says the guy shows up all the time just to see her. Just let me save. I thought there was something fishy about that, Captain. Oh, you want me to use my sword? What sword? You mean this sword? Woo! That's what I'm talking about, baby. Man, I wonder which grave leads to the sanctuary. Out of my way, Ghost. While traversing the dungeon that leads to the sanctuary, you get the lamp. And really, it's one of the only major complaints I heard of people having with the game, having to constantly switch from and to the lamp, but I never found it problematic in any way. I actually think it's fun how you get to burn enemies and objects early in the game. And also, Jesus! What is that? Is that Ganon? No, it's Yuga. And all besides Ganon, she... I don't know, it's 2019, is the main antagonist of the game. Yuga plans to first capture all 7 sages, and he's turning them into paintings, which I suppose is sort of a gimmick in this game, but I'll get to that later. Oh no, Hiratseris, oh no.
A fiend? How easily you stoop to petty insults.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can think of a couple better. Run, child! Okay. Man, I think that was a faster run than when he has Pegasus boots on. Later on, we meet Ravio. He was so nice as to carry me back to my house while I was unconscious. Man, what a nice guy. He says he needs a place to stay, which I guess isn't a problem on my back. He gave me a bracelet that smells like a wet dog in exchange. So I finally made it to Hyrule Castle, and boy, let me tell you, I went to see the fortune teller this morning, and he said I'd have the worst day of my life today. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're in charge of the aesthetic of the place, then... Now, as far as my knowledge goes, this is one of the only Zelda games that actually doesn't make you wait through the whole cutscene of explaining the basic same concept and a bit different story like in every game. Instead, you can just wait, and Impa will come to invite you to have a chat with Zelda, which is great. After you enter her room, you get to have your first glance at the beautiful Princess Zelda.
How about a kiss for luck?
Forgive me, but might I ask your name? Ah, while your name is unfamiliar to me, Zelda. What? You've had the same dream, Zelda? It's like she's insane or something. So Zelda wants to give me her most prized possession because of the story I just told her. Wait, what? I mean, I could be anyone, like, geez, it's like in Zelda, as long as you're wearing a green tunic and say, I am Zelda, people are just sure that you're the one. Like, yeah, don't worry, I'll take care of it. Oh hey, I guess the cuckoos just don't attack you like they do in most Zelda games. Wait, is this guy trying to sell a heart? Well, I'm taking the bottle, but you can keep the heart, really. I literally cut a bush 5 seconds ago and a heart came out. Before I get too off track, I just want to mention the Kakariko village in this game is awesome. It's actually like a village. You can buy the essentials like the shield at the store, you can jam in the milk bar, you can get the nets at the bee guy. In my opinion, besides Breath of the Wild, this is probably the best version of Kakariko Village. Now what did Zelda tell me to do already? Woo! A minigame! I'm not a big fan of the Cuckoo Ranch minigame. I'm more of a fan of the one that people say is the most annoying. Octoball Derby. I'd take this one over any Zelda minigame, really. Simply put, because it's different. You always see Link being in some sort of combat or cuckoo thing in these. But this is like real life baseball with a twist. Instead of someone catching your ball, you get to hit pots with it and get rupees. And if you hit a crow, you get extra. Honestly, who says that gambling is gone in child-friendly video games? At least 3 of the minigames in this game consist of you having to pay some cash in order to test yourself and gain more if you're lucky. Which is basically gambling if I ever knew what it was. People call this minigame annoying, but I find it to be a nice change of pace from the rest of the game. Which is what minigames are supposed to do, right? Right. For this late in the video though, I'm getting way off track. So Zelda sent us to go talk to Sahasrand. So let's go talk to him. So Sakaka sent his apprentice Osfala to go check out the weird occurrences over at the temple. Little do we know though, Osfala is also one of the descendants of the 7 sages. So we have to save him. But wait, what's this? Come visit my shop south of the castle. South of the castle? But that's my house. Hey pal, I opened a store in your house. Is that cool? Oh, it's not? Well, you can get my dog smelling stuff at a discount because you're a bud. That's my house, dude. The least you could be doing is paying my rent. Not that I pay you rent for your fucking stuff. At least I got the bow. Now let's go save Osfala. Oh no, he got him too. Yep, the dog smelling bracelet is a savior as well as the gimmick of this game. What it does is it basically lets you shift from 2D Link on the wall into 3D and vice versa. This feature also looks great in 3D, but what you may notice while traversing the walls is that this world is slanted. What? This is the unique stylistic approach this game takes, to achieve a similar feel to Link to the Past and other top few Zeldas. Some people say it's not a good stylistic approach because when you see how slanted the world really is, it looks miles different from what you think it looks like. But that shouldn't really happen so often that it breaks the immersion. But what about the dungeons? Well, the thing is, just to get to Osfala, I had to get to a palace, which is the first dungeon in the game. But rather than talk about the dungeons, I'd talk about the way how you can approach them. You see, the thing about most Zeldas is that you have to approach the dungeons in a specific pattern in order to beat the game. You get into the dungeon, you find the dungeon specific item, you use it in that dungeon only, and you basically never use it again. Not in this one. This is a great feature, which was also carried over to Breath of the Wild, that you don't have to paste at the game's command. Rather, they made Zelda feel a lot more open by letting you explore any dungeon at any time you want. This makes Zelda feel like an open world game. All of this is thanks to Ravio's renting system. You can seamlessly get any dungeon specific item whenever you want. In fact, if you grind up enough rupees, you can just flat out rent or buy all of the items from the start. And just like Link to the Past, you don't have to keep buying ammo for these. You just have to refill your magic meter. And you don't need to go to a store or break a few thousand pots to get fucking 3 arrows. Instead, you have just enough magic to spend to a point where it's too much. And if you don't think that's enough, you can upgrade it. Never mind that I'm in the sacred place of the Master Sword. I can still easily cut all the bushes like a jackass. I find it funny, by the way, how Zoras in the 3D Zeldas are like all sexy and cool. But in this game, they're just like, meh. Don't you just think it's adorable how Hinox get sweaters when they're on Hyrule's Death Mountain? Like, you better put that on, it's cold up there. Did I mention that you can eavesdrop in this game? Through Hyrule, you can get into an otherwise locked house in which there's a girl who's trying on dresses. She gives you a piece of heart and sees it as a compliment. Link, don't even dare think about eavesdropping. It's weird how she gives you a kiss every time you come back. It's like I'm not even the weirdest weirdo in here for eavesdropping. She likes it if I do that. Sort of reminds me of the house in Zelda 2 Adventure of Link, which you can just enter and the lady inside heals you up. Don't even get me started on all the speculations on what happens in there. Oh, I see you want to try out the hint glasses? There's a cave near my shop. Put on the glasses there. Whoa, sure, fortune teller. Not like I just met you. Let me put on your glasses that probably change the way I see, then go into your cave beside your house. Oh boy. Now if I were to talk about every dungeon and boss fight in the game, we'd be here for a bit longer than 10 minutes. But man, I guess what I'm trying to say is that the 3DS was a great console. And this game was a big factor of getting Zelda as a series onto the system. It's not as traditional as Ocarina, but some might say it's the best over-the-top view Zelda game. No shit! As a standalone Zelda title, I enjoyed it way more than I should have. But is it a great recommendation for beginners? Is it a better first-timer Zelda than Ocarina? Well, I'd say it depends. While Ocarina has a better representation and is in my opinion the pinnacle of Zelda, Link Between Worlds is just such a simpler way to introduce Zelda to someone. His dungeons aren't too hard, and all of the items are accessible to you at all times. One strong suit you could say that Link Between Worlds has against Breath of the Wild is that it still gives you this free feeling without losing the format of a traditional Zelda game. It's great. It fits the 3DS's gimmick way more than Ocarina ever did. But you know what? I just wanted to ramble a bit about one of my favorite Zelda games. There's no other quite like it, but until there is, I think I'll just play some more Zelda baseball until my 3DS's battery runs out.